Welcome to another Tableau tutorial video. I'm Weston Palmer. If you find these videos helpful, consider supporting me through Patreon. What we want to do is, it's pretty standard in Microsoft BI, is to be able to select one item and show partial or show how those items compare to the total. Tableau doesn't have that feature built in, but I'm going to show you how to do that. So I've already done some of the prep work. We have a bar chart on the left that has the areas or the cities. This is police data, and then we've got different crime types or different colors here. And we want to be able to filter, so we're going to do this one by one. So if you click here, it filters on just those countries or just those cities and areas that have bicycle theft. And what we want to do is we want to be able to show all of it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come over to the bar chart, and I'm going to create, using a fixed calculation, I'm going to call this total crime. Right? Blow this up. This is going to be a fixed function. So fixed, and we want it to be for the different areas. We want just we want the total crime for that specific area. So we're going to do count D, just like we have up here, crime ID. And what I'm going to do, okay, and then I'm going to bring that over so that we can see what it looks like. And you see there's a bunch of colors here. We're going to get rid of those. You can see the numbers are kind of screwy, 35,000. So we're going to come to sum, we're going to pull that off, and we should have those lined up the same amount. Now, I'm going to go and actually get rid of London because it throws all the other charts, and so it'll be more difficult to see the impact. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to exclude that. And so you can see that it's a little bit more reasonable, and the times everything's lining up. I'm going to use that so you can see what's happening. And now when I hit dash filter, it still has the total number of crime. And actually, let's come here so you can see what's happening. We're going to dual axis, so it's overlaid. Have to come up here now to all and change that back to, oh, not line, bar, sorry. And we'll synchronize. We usually want to do that. And it looks like I've got them in the wrong order, so we just left click and drag it over to the other side. And now you have your chart that says that's how many bicycle thefts were for the City of London, that 001G. Unselect it. I want to get it so that all of these areas are still showing. That's where it gets a little trickier. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a set on the crime type. And we're going to create set. We're going to call this filtered crime type. And we're just going to pick bicycle theft. You're just giving it a value at the beginning. It doesn't matter because it's going to change. We're going to use dashboard action. So we've got a filter here. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create another calculated field. I'm going to blow this up for you guys. This is going to be another fixed function on the LSOA name, or whatever field or dimension you're going to be having on this left hand side, or if you flipped it so the bars are vertical on the bottom. And we're going to do count again. And this time we're going to use an if statement. We're going to say if filtered crime type. If the set, if the item that's selected, if the crime type is selected, it will go into the set and return true or false. So if it's the filtered crime type, then we want to have the crime type ID. End. And so if it's one of the ones that were chosen, we're going to count it. And if it's not, it's going to return, the count is going to return 0. So we'll hit OK. And let's actually bring this now over here so you can see what's happening. And these are all the total. Well, these are actually, because we selected bicycle theft, you see the 19 is the 19. Here it's 43, 43, and so on. Now when we come to this dashboard, we're going to have to change this. Well, we're going to have to change these coloring for sure. But you see this lighter colored here, it says 75. That's 43. Something's not right. So let's come back here for starters. And we're going to change, we're going to get rid of this. So that it's just, we'll leave that blue. We're going to change this to gray. Oh, I know what the issue is. If we come up here and look, bicycle theft is still selected. So this item over here is still working off of bicycle theft. We need to change the dashboard action. Instead of a filter, we're going to remove the filter and we're going to add an action. We're going to change the set values. Select a crime type. On select, we're going to assign a value to filtered crime type. There's an error. We'll get to that. Oops. On the pie chart. So when we select something on the pie chart, it's going to assign the value, bicycle, theft, violent crime, other robbery, to that set, this filtered crime type, which will then get counted. And then if it's unselected, we want to show everything. Let's see here. So you see here, this is everything was selected. So now this is returning the same counts. So let's pick just shoplifting. 55. We have a problem. We'll go back to the bar chart. And nothing is being filtered. And the reason nothing is being filtered is because we don't have a filter action loaded. So if we were to come back over here and say filter, it does filter. But see, here's the thing that bothers me, or what got me started, is I don't want this to contract. I just want to keep it. I want to show everything, and those that don't have any of this item, I just want it to be blank. So what we'll do is we'll turn that filter off. We've already got this so that it's calculating correctly. So we'll bring this over and we'll get rid of the crime ID. We'll do a dual axis. We'll do a synchronize. I'm going to actually, well, if you get it pretty, we can hide it. And so now I need to come back here and change the color on the total. Now you can see where it's all of the items are listed, so it's not changing, but the bar colors are changing, right? The bar numbers are changing. So what you'll see here is that there's a bunch of zeros, and that's for the ones that are 1. And my particular data set that I had was much smaller than 400, so it was a bigger difference. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to get rid of those zeros. And the way you can do that, we're going to create a label. It's actually another calculated field. Let's see here. And we can simply say if filtered crime count equals 0, then nothing else. And so this is where I ran into a little problem. If you just put in the filtered crime type count, it gives you an error, right? And the error is that you got mixed data types. You got, this is a string and this is an integer. So the way you get around that is you just convert this to a string. It's a little bit hacky, but it'll work. Oops. If you hold down the shift key. And once you hit OK, we're going to bring that crime type label. We're going to drop that under the label. It should have all those zeros go away, right? And so then what I would also do to make it prettier, I'd get rid of the headers. I'd get rid of the lines. And if you wanted, you could get rid of specific items here. And so now you have a chart that shows everything. And it doesn't like shrink or get bigger. I mean, yeah, it doesn't shrink or grow based on what you've got filtered. So it works as a filter, and you can kind of see how all the different categories are doing. Now, one last thing I'll say is I had other filters that I wanted to apply, like status or maybe country up in the filter column. And in those cases, you may need to change those to fixed context, add to context, because you do have fixed functions in these calculations. Hope that helped. Hope that gave you a little bit of insight. Please leave comments if something's not clear, and I'll try and answer them. Thanks again. Thanks for watching. I hope you'll subscribe and turn on notifications so you know when new videos are released. Check out some of these other videos I think you'll find helpful.